Fiona Hall, Liberal Democrat MEP for the North East. The European Court of Human Rights has ruled there has been a violation in these cases to do with life sentencing. What's your reaction?
I think it's reasonable judgment. I think the most important thing to say is that this does not in any way stop life sentences being handed out in the UK, and it does not in any way stop people being made to serve a life sentence. That continues exactly as it was. And also we should remember that up to 2003 it was the case in the UK that life sentences were reviewed. And all that this ruling says is that it is only fair that there should be a review at some point. That point could be a long way into the sentence, 25, 30 years, and there is absolutely no need for that review to change the sentence. So it simply says that there should, in justice terms, be a possibility of a review at some point.
And what's your own personal view of that as a judgment? Is that something that you see as a fair conclusion by the European Court?
Yes, I think it is a fair conclusion, and I think it's reasonable for them to do that, and I think that some of the reaction in the UK is very over the top, given we must bear in mind that we're only being asked to do what we were doing anyway until 2003. And the main principle that you can give a life sentence and that a life sentence can be a life sentence, that continues. It doesn't alter anything at all.
These cases came from three people that had committed different types of very serious crimes, including murder in Middlesbrough. Some people are saying this could pave the way for this person and others to be released. What's your reaction to that?
It doesn't pave the way because there is a review which is completely open, and it will be entirely possible for the review to conclude, and indeed very likely that the review would conclude that the person should carry on serving their sentence. It seems to be really a very small change that after 25 or 30 years there is a requirement to simply look at the sentence again and look at the person, and to not require that can be seen as could be considered to be rather vindictive, I think. A life prisoner has done a terrible crime and deserves to be punished for a very, very long time. But nevertheless, they can also expect not to be treated vindictively.
David Cameron has called this decision very disappointing. Is that a fair comment, do you think, or is he playing politics a bit with this one?
I think he's playing politics because we are seeing in this decision simply a return to what was always the case in the UK before 2003. A life sentence is still a life sentence. A life sentence can be reviewed and carry on indefinitely. Nothing will change for many, many prisoners who have this review, and anybody who does not deserve and is not in a fit state to be released on the public will not be released. That's the most important point to make, and I think it's a pity if this is used as a political football, because what's at stake is far more important than that.
And indeed, some people are saying maybe the UK, as a result, for example, of this case, should leave the European Court of Human Rights, the treaty that the UK signed up to. What's your reaction to that kind of statement? Are you going to have to, you as a party, as the Lib Dems, going to have to fight harder to argue your side of the debate?
Well, we have always argued that it's sensible for us to be part of the European Court of Human Rights, as are many other countries outside the EU, places like Russia and Azerbaijan. It's about international standards of justice, and I don't think it's necessary that just because we're British, we should think that we always have everything 100% right. I think that is an arrogant attitude that we must always be right, and no other country and no judge from any other court can possibly ever have a good point or think differently. I think we should accept that there is a good argument here, and we, as I say, we are just being asked to do what we used to do prior to 2003. Life sentences will still be life sentences, and this review can be set by the British courts at whatever long distance into the sentence that judges want.